Hey guys, Scott here, Pine Band Craftsman. I had a very productive day here on the mountain. I was able to get my sink and vanity put together in my second bathroom. Pretty good day, and get a lot of good feedback, not on the comments on the channel, but in real life about some of the videos I've been posting. So it's been positive, which is great. That's what I've been looking for, and it really motivates me to continue. Um, I just want to touch back a little bit on my current situation. So I just got done with dinner, right? Huge bowl, tomatoes, lettuce, grilled chicken. Very good. I feel great, feel vibrant. And I'm thinking as I'm eating about something that could come as a secondary to the video I posted about getting yourself physically ready for a date night, and expand on this into something that I was lacking in my life in the past as a young man, and maybe to try to help somebody again. That's what the purpose of these videos are, to try to help people. So a lot of times I've gotten into conversations with very intelligent people in my younger life, and I would feel like I was a little bit out of my league, and self-consciousness comes in. You start to doubt, your ability to maybe like keep up the conversation. You go to an event where people are like really doing a lot. Like people are activists, people are changing the world, right? And my mind always kind of rested in a different realm. And I always thought differently. I was always labeled as being quirky. But this video, I'm trying to help people that are trying to step up their game a little bit and be more interesting. I don't have like a jotted down PowerPoint and all this other stuff. This is just a couple things. I actually jotted them down on this envelope here with some notes. But basically, you're trying to be interesting. You're trying to convey to somebody that you have something good to talk about. You're in a party, you're socializing. First things first, you got to know your boundaries, what you feel comfortable talking about. You don't want to go into a situation where you're in over your head. I'm not going to go to Wall Street and start talking to people about money and stocks. If you're in a situation where you're socializing with a relationship or friends, try to keep it about things that are interesting, but also keep them about not current events. Everybody goes to current events. It's like a wet napkin that everybody grabs and uses it to wipe the desk down. Current events are very interesting, but you can do that on Facebook, you can do that on the news, you can do that in the newspaper. Let's get deeper, right? Let's get deeper. Think about some boundaries first that you don't want to go past, and try to work within those boundaries. This is like the night after the conversation, like the night you're out doing this. You get in touch with the godly stuff or the politicals. It's going to be difficult to be interesting. Now, some of the things that I did in my life that was a mistake was I didn't monitor my resting thoughts. My resting thoughts. What are the things that your mind goes to when you're daydreaming? When you're in school, maybe college, and are you thinking about like the track meet? Are you thinking about the party on the weekend, which is a big one for a lot of people? Are you thinking about your activities that you like to do for yourself? Like you got to get out rowing, you got to get out running, you got to get out bike riding, you got to get out do these hiking things. Like, is that what your mind kind of neutralizes to? Like when you're in gear and you're driving and you're going through life, where when you put it in neutral, when you start to coast and you just relax and think, like, what do you think about? Well, this is the point. I was relying on thoughts about maybe love interest, cars, maybe social interactions with my buddies, riding bikes, lifting weights. It's all surface, right? It's all general conversation, and that's not very interesting. You're going to go out on a date with a new girl, and what are you going to talk about? The girls that you're dreaming about? The girls that you're thinking about in your mind? The potential for a love interest or a marriage or family? No. You got to get down into stuff. But If you get down into like arguments, again, with this debating, you're going to end up just being somebody that's arguing. I've had friends that were argumentative. You do something, they tell you doing it wrong. That's all they got. That's all they think about. They think about what everybody's doing wrong. You know, there's a new trend people doing for the last 10 years. I know about like this, the food diet, mushrooms, eating mushrooms, doing this, doing that. Not psychedelic and whatever I'm talking about. There's a whole bunch of stuff of that, I'm sure, as well. But like being more like to the earth with the natural, that's good. That means like your mind is going to something that's positive, and it's like not just a current event, maybe it's an interest. You know, you just come out of left field with stuff too. Like if everybody's talking about car show, or they're talking about the music concert, or talking about maybe a religious thing that everybody's into, and they're talking about like their moments, that's good. You could dwell and talk about all this stuff. But like really throw it out there. Be like, hey man, I think I'm gonna build a tree house. Oh really? Yeah, I'm gonna build a tree house. Why? I just want to be up in the trees. But you don't got a kid. I want to go in a tree house. I think I want to get up above. See, that's something that people would say, wow. Now I've gotten this as kids weird. I've gotten that a lot. However, the weirdness turned into a unique human being, an individual. Don't digress and go backwards. Too, if you have these abilities to think outside the box, don't try to calm that down to be normal. There is no normal. We're all out of normal, abnormal. But I will say, if you do spend a lot of time daydreaming and you're not getting production done, that's a different thing. Don't want to be a negative on society and your physicality. You want to stay positive, stay enlightened, stay wise. Try to think outside. Don't get restricted into this world that you feel like you have to stay in, and you feel guilty for going outside of it, this box, you know. Now, there's thinking, there's reading into things, and then there's overthinking. And I know some people dabbled with this and they got very intelligent, but then they start to get in down to the depths where it's dark and things start to become negative all the time. No matter what answer you come up with, it's just, you know, an anchor or down on society, or, you know, I don't want to think about that stuff. It makes me upset. Sure. There's people that go too deep, and I don't know how this happens, but they start to get unwell mentally, and that's not good. I don't know if it's a chemical imbalance. I don't know if it's upbringing. I don't know if it's events, shock, you know, traumatic events. I'm not trying to tell you to drive yourself crazy. I'm trying to tell you to think, eat healthy, physical workout. You're getting ready for a date, like I said. Well, during the week, you know, when you're working or when you have your alone time, maybe you're a single person living by yourself, go outside the box. That's where it all is. You know, if you're thinking about, all right, Facebook, you know, and Facebook's telling you what to think because it's so interesting and it's so entertaining, and we're being presented all this cool information like, oh, look at this guy did this with a car he chopped. Oh, look at this new mountain bike suspension that I'm going to go buy. Oh, look at this tile cutter that I'm going to get. This new flashlight that doesn't blind your eye, but you can see everything. Whatever. That's constant input. But it's not, we're not developing anything beyond that. It's just, let me see what I got here. What does your mind go to before bed? That's a pretty cool little window that I thought of in my salad today as I'm digging through to find the freshest tomato at the bottom of the... What does your mind wander to as you're falling to sleep? Now, for a long time, it was past. Things that happened in the past. Maybe an ex-relationship. Maybe something that you did in the past that hurt somebody. These are the things that people say keep you up at night. Maybe you rip somebody off on a deal and it bothers you. Maybe you're worried that someone's going to beat you up. These are the things that really give you a barometer, a window in. And if you find yourself thinking about the same stuff, I'm not saying it's wrong, but just make a mental note of it and think about if there's something else you'd rather be thinking about. Hey man, I want to learn about yoga. You could go on YouTube, learn about yoga, but maybe you're thinking about it at night and you're going to bed and you're like thinking, I wonder like if yoga works. Does it work for like maybe a guy that's overweight? Is it even that strenuous? Like you start giving these thoughts to, and then you can go seek it out, but you can get the immediate gratification by going on YouTube and get the answer and move on. But let it dwell. Let it sit. Like inventors, I think they do this. I think people that ponder the great questions of society, I think that they let the thought hang. Just let it hang. So now you got these new thoughts, right? And you're fresh. You're feeling good. You're vigorous. You're ready for life. Now maybe you go out there and you challenge yourself. You say, all right, I'm going to try to share this with somebody. I came up with an original thought on my own. I didn't go on to chatbot or whatever these things are. You type into the AI and they tell you what to say or how to write a book and all. That's fine. It's got its place. It's a tool. It's great. Whatever. It's a new age. But maintain your own, Ponder the small things like Thoreau. This is what happened. This is when I had this awakening. There was another movie about a gentleman in the Confederate, and it was the Civil War, the Confederacy. I think they kidnapped some Union soldiers, or vice versa, and the guy was about to get, put out of his life, and this whole thing is going through his mind, and something happened where he doesn't die, and the scene picks up where he gets away and he's running through the woods and he goes back and he's appreciating all the sensitive things that are around him, the plants, the animals. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. And he's running to his farm and he's running up to his woman is going to give her a hug, and then boom, he's dead. He went right back to where he was at the end, at the beginning, and it actually happened. But that's the moment. He was alive all that time. That movie stuck with me. You might have seen it. And I've tried to focus on being awake. Woke is one thing. Being woke in society they're talking about, and like understanding people's, life and what they've come up against. That's what I like the term awake. Thinking outside your box. Now, my wife told me very quickly, I'm going to finish this before it gets too long here. My wife told me very early on, she goes, you have a weird way of looking at things. It's strange to me. You'll look at an argument from both point of views, and you'll look at it I don't want to say above, because above feels like you're above and you're high lifted up looking down on things, but rather I have a vantage point from the side, let's say, where I'm being very honest with myself about maybe I am wrong and what the other person's trying to say, and I try to make points that are actually better so I would understand what they're saying. I try to meet them. This goes back to like the debate thing, but this is like a way that you could look at other people, like break the ice and talk to them about stuff. I was thinking the other day about your problem. I've had this from a current friend that I just met. They come back a day or two later and they said, I thought about this, and this is what you should do with that. And it comes from a different point. It comes from a deep tone. That's where the respect for the mutual friendship grows. This person took time. This isn't like I just Google searched what you should do, or I asked my friend and they said what you should. No, somebody put time into my problem. I didn't ask them to, and they come back. This is the mutual give and take, and I feel like it's dying. There is a big trend. Everybody wants to tell you how horrible their life is, how much stress they have, how horrible their sicknesses are, how horrible, their finances are. It was almost like, can you top this? Well, my dog died. Well, my brother died. Well, my sister's this way, and my uncle did that. And this, why? That conversation is just toxic. It becomes a competition, right? That's a big word. Yeah, just watch the hairy edge. I said this on my notes here. Watch the hairy edge. Basically telling myself, you don't want to overthink everything. You don't want to overanalyze everything. You want to have an open mind. You want to have a critical look at things that is honest. Yeah. You don't want to be like a stale puff marshmallow, just a dud in society. I have been. That's why I'm saying it. I was only focused on girls and cars, which is still, cars are a big part of my life. I remember thinking about what radiator I'm going to get and what kind of engine I want to build, and just dreaming about what you're going to do to your car. That's great. That's a passion. But if it's the only thing you think about and you feel yourself lacking social interactions and you're looking for that, you're depressed, take a change. Just say, all right, put the car parts to the side and maybe go find a group of people that want to hang out and talk about cars. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. I don't know who this helped. It helped me. It got off my chest. I had a big bowl of salad, like I said. I feel great. Grilled chicken, tomatoes, black olives, a little bit of mozzarella. I'm holding my weight down. I'm happy, guys. And I think that this happiness is something that we could share and spread. See you.